Hey everybody, my name is Clint Neal. I'm one of the personal trainers here at the JCA, and this is my Sit and Get Fit balance class. As always, or if this is your first time here, having a chair that's pretty sturdy will be necessary just in case you need it for balance. A mat, either to, the cushiony kind if you have one. You could also use a pillow that you don't mind standing on, whether you use your bare feet, shoes, or socks on, and a small object just so you can track it with your eye. If you don't have a small object handy, you could always just make a fist and use that instead. But we're going to start with a little bit of a warm-up, trying to get our body used to moving, but also make it kind of a balance-oriented warm-up. So what I want you to do, feet close together, posture is nice and tall. You're going to raise the left leg, that's this leg over here, as I raise my right arm, so fingertips are together, up, down gently, same thing on the other side. Now of course, if this is already a bit challenging, you can always hold on to the chair and just exaggerate the knees up. Or if you could do so without the chair. Now also there's one way to make this even more difficult, even though it's just a warm-up, is to look up towards the sky and follow the hand that goes up each time you do this one. It is a little bit more challenging, just a couple more. One more per side. All right, good. Now this next one we'll do, this one's not for balance, but it's just kind of warm up the core and the hips and glutes. So we want a wide stance, wider than your shoulder width, hands on the hips, and make big circles. Because a number of the balance exercises we're going to do today involves the lower half and involves the core. So this move here kind of warms up both of those areas. And reverse it. As big a circle as you feel comfortable with. Almost there. All right, good. Okay, now I'm going to use my chair. What I want you to do, we're going to do the three main directions: front, lateral, to the side, and back. But we're going to start with the front raise. So as you'll see on the vast majority of the exercises I do, the leg is closest to the chair. That's what I'm going to stand on. I don't want to lock out this knee, but I don't want to have it exaggerated bend either. Just a slight bend in the knee. So my other leg, I'm going to come up, keeping it straight, try not to swing, come down. Now if you have to touch the floor, do so, but if you could avoid it, try not to touch the floor. That way these muscles work harder. It does require more balance to do it. So you kind of kill two birds with one stone doing it this way. So I'm coming up as high as I feel comfortable, keeping the core engaged, working those quads. And without swinging or using momentum. Couple more. All right, good. Do the same thing on the other side. You don't actually have to pick up your chair and move it. I'm just doing this for the camera's sake. All right, so leg up, down slowly, and repeat that motion. And since everybody's leg does weigh something, and it's very similar to lifting weights because we are lifting our body weight, you want to exhale as you lift, breathe in on the way down. Exhale, breathe in. Exhale, breathe in. And rest. Good. All right. Now on this other one, what we're going to do, we'll go right to the back leg lift. So same form and technique. The only difference is we're going to the rear. But you don't want to lean too far forward. We're not trying to get a certain type of range of motion. It's just as far as we feel comfortable. And once again, if you can, avoid touching the floor. So these muscles and their stabilizing leg also has to work harder. Just a little bit better for the body that way. switch. Good. And if you haven't noticed so far, if this is your first time here, I only do one set per side. You could certainly do more on your own. I'm just doing one set per side so I could get the widest variety of exercises in one class as possible. But certainly if you try these on your own, you could do 2, 3, 4 sets of each, whatever you feel comfortable with and your time you have to dedicate for it. And last 2. All right, good. So on this next one, we're going to do a variety of squat. We're going to do 2 different types. And if you have bad knees, you really want to use good form on this. Squats have a reputation for being bad for the knees. That's only true if the person does it with bad form. Now, if their knees are already bad, then squats aren't necessarily going to make your knees better. It depends on what's wrong with your knee. But we want to do wide stance, chin up. Now, as my butt goes back, because if I go straight down, I miss the chair. So my butt has to go back. I'm keeping my back straight. Go down, just touch the chair and up. So I don't want you to actually sit. Now to make it a little bit tougher, I'm going to raise my center of gravity by putting my arms up high. Just tap. So I'm keeping these muscles engaged the whole range of motion. I'm just using the chair there for safety and also as a guide. So I'm trying to be consistent in the depth in which I squat. And of course, if you can't quite go this far, or if you can go farther, that's fine. Just do as much range of motion as you can, but notice chin goes forward towards the toes as your butt goes back. And we'll try a couple more. All right, good. You can shake out those legs. So the next one's going to be very, very similar. The difference is we're going to disengage the muscles. How do you do that? Well, you actually sit. So you can tell they're disengaged because the muscles will relax. When they're pressing down on the floor the whole time, even now, it may not feel like it, but they're pressing down on the floor. So, because I have weight pushing against it. So on this one, what I'm going to do, same technique, except I actually sit. Notice my posture automatically goes to totally upright, but I have to re-engage. So I don't just try to go up this way because my weight's going to tend to go back. That could obviously be quite dangerous. So I lean forward still and go up. So it's going to look basically the same as the first type of squat in form. The function part though is I disengage, re-engage, and up. So this is a good skill because most of us take for granted sitting on the toilet or sitting on a chair or a couch. But if your balance has been hindered by an accident or an injury or just you're getting up there in years and it's getting tougher, then it's not something that we take for granted anymore. So you definitely want to try to maintain that skill and independency if you can. Yep, just like that. 2 more. All right, good. Now on this next one, we don't need our chair. However, if you feel more comfortable using the back of a couch, you can use that just because it's longer. Because what I'm going to do, I'm going to travel hopefully the width of your field of view there. And we're going to do the heel to toe. Okay, there's 3 different ways I'm going to do it. I'll start with the easiest, go down and back, and then do the more intermediate and then a little bit more advanced way of doing it. So what I'm going to do, my posture's and chin up, eyes on the horizon. This is not a race to get to the other side. I'm going to go nice and slow, heel to toe. Now, of course, if you're struggling with this one, that's fine, and you could always step out if you need to catch yourself. All right, now I'm going to head back, heel to toe. Make sure your posture and your head's up. All right. So if you felt that challenging, just stick with that one for the next two. If that was pretty easy for you, that's great, because this way is a little bit more challenging. Once again, the last one's going to be even tougher. So I'm still doing the heel to toe. This time I'm looking to my left and then slowly looking to the right. Then back to the left and then to the right. So because I'm having this head motion, it changes that mind-body connection a little bit. It makes this a little tougher, a little bit tougher of a balance exercise. Especially if you're talking and trying not to look goofy while you're doing this one. But if you're in your own home, it doesn't matter if you look goofy or not. But this is a good balance exercise. All right, so coming back this way, same thing. Left to right, right to left. Nice, slow and controlled. Once again, not a foot race. Yeah. So the next one's even more challenging than this one. That one normally doesn't cause me problems, but oh well. The only way I'm gonna get better is gotta practice. Okay. So to make this one tougher, I'm gonna look up and look down. Once again, not a fast motion with your head and neck, but slow and controlled motion. While still doing the head to toe. Yeah, just do the best you feel comfortable with. All right, one more time back. Once again, slow and controlled motion. Don't forget to breathe. Those muscles are working, so they need oxygen. Oh. All right. So how'd you like that one? Pretty good? All right, so this next one, we're gonna grab the chair because we need the back support, maybe. Depends on your ability level, so I grab mine just in case. We've already done the front raise, back raise, now for the side raise, the lateral raise. So once again, my legs that's closest to the chair is the one I'm standing on, slight bend in that knee, out to the side without swinging, down till it comes close to touching the floor but not quite, and repeat that motion. Yep, just like that. Once again, exhale as I lift, breathe in on the way down. Exhale, breathe in. Yep, notice how I'm not going too quickly. Speed is not your friend. It increases the risk of injury, plus it hinders balance. So it's a lose-lose for me. It's not going to be something I benefit from. All right, same thing on the other side. Once again, keep the core engaged. Exhale as you lift. Try a couple more. All right, good. On this next one, I don't have a book handy. You don't have to have a book because it's still going to work the balance. But if you have one that you don't mind stepping on and it's still safe, then you could just get a little more of your calves working. What we're going to do, feet close together, both knees slightly bent to protect the knees. You're going to raise up, heels off the ground, and down. So once again, the chair's there if necessary, but you want to elevate as high as you feel comfortable, control the descent, try not to just kerplunk as you come down. So up and down. Up, you can flex those calf muscles, and down. Now the one way to make this a little bit more challenging, besides standing on a book, or if you have stairs in your house, you could do that as well, is to do the heels up and then toes up. Heels up and then the toes up. It's a little bit more challenging without holding on to this one, but if you do hold on, just try not to white knuckle it. Just put your fingertips but it works those little muscles in the ankles and the feet as well. And when those are strong and have pretty good endurance, it also helps with balance. The whole body kind of works as a team, and that's what the coordination is, those muscles working together. We just have a couple more. Up, down, up, and one more. All right, very good. Okay. On this next one, what we're going to do is we're going to use our small object. So once again, it's very lightweight, even though it's not that small. It's filled with air. So what we're going to do is just use this to keep our eyes on. You could use your fists if you want to, if you don't have an object real close and handy. But feet close together, I'm going to go to the opposite side. So this is my right hand, so I'm going to go to the left as far as I feel comfortable. Now, if your shoulder's okay, keep your eyes on the ball and come all the way up. However, if you have a bad shoulder, you could come down, keep the elbow close to the body, and just raise it up like so. So you're only pivoting or rotating from the elbow joint. Don't come all the way up if you have bursitis or rotator cuff problems. But the eyes are going to stay on the ball the whole time. So once again, it's really important not to go too quickly because you could get dizzy doing this one. Because our head is going through this range of motion and our eyes are tracking it. So the rest of the body kind of has to figure out what's going on here. We'll just try a couple more on this side. All right, good. How was that? Hopefully that was okay. You can modify it some to make it a little bit easier if you need to. Once again, grabbing your chair if necessary, or simply spreading the feet farther apart because that will also make it a little bit easier. All right, so as you notice, I switched sides. So down, eyes, once again, tracking the ball. As much range of motion as you can. Not so much with the arm. You do want to keep track with your eyes. But if you could go down farther, that's great. If not, just do what you're comfortable with. All right, we have one more. All right, good. Now we'll put our object down. I won't need this, I'll put it over here. Now we'll need our mat. And this one's kind of a cushiony one. So what I'm going to do on this one is, once again, I put this closest to my chair. That's the one I stand on. So the other one I'm going to bring up to the center, but then I'm not going to put my foot straight down. I'm going to go out to the side, which changes my center of gravity because one of my limbs is going out away from my core. Now you might need to try it first with touching the back of the chair support, but once you feel confident that you can do so, then don't touch it, and you'll notice the leg that's stabilizing is having to work a little bit harder to stabilize on your unstable surface. Up, down slowly to the side. Once again, keep that core engaged. And we got one more. And down. Good. All right, we're going to do the same thing on the other side. Now, once again, you may not notice from that angle, but I have my mat offset from the chair. I don't have it right beside it. So that way, when I put my hand on the chair, if I need to, I'm not having to reach behind or too far in front or too far out to the side. It's just a nice, comfortable distance from me. So now we're going to be lifting our right side, or if you started with your right, you can lift with your left. So leg up, out to the side, back up to neutral, out to the side. Once again, you could do this barefoot, with socks, with shoes. Of course, if you are using a pillow, you might not want to use a pillow that you don't want to get all potentially dirty with the shoes on. But that's up to you. Couple more. Once again, up to neutral and out to the side. Good. All right, we'll come back to the mat in just a moment. Now we're going to do what I call the tabletop. So what you want to do is we're going to go in a full 180 range of motion with our leg. Now our core, including the lower back, works quite a bit throughout the day in whatever exercises you do, or even just pretty much existing, your back works. So I'm going to lean in the opposite direction without overdoing it, the opposite side that my leg is in. So the first one I lift up, so I lean back slightly, compensate the weight of the leg. As it rotates, I'm leaning in the opposite direction. Because I'm not lifting up and down, I'm keeping it on that tabletop, imaginary of course. But this way, my upper body is compensating for the weight of the leg, therefore my core doesn't have to work as hard. It is clearly going to work some, and it should feel quite obvious, but you don't want to overdo it. Because you don't want to be exercising and then hurt yourself, of course. That's not very productive. And one more on this side. And down. Good. All right, we're going to do the same thing on the other side. So once again, leg up as high as I feel comfortable. Try not to let it drop. Going in a complete 180 range of motion. Working those muscles. Once again, you notice I'm going in a controlled speed, not herky-jerky, not too quick. And we'll try a couple more. And one more, back and then to the front. All right, good. All right, on this next one, it's, as I like to say, similar but different, because we're going to go in the different ranges of motion, but our method of doing it is going to be different. So we're going to raise our leg up to neutral, and each time we're going to come back to this position. So I want to do extend outwardly, bring it back to the neutral, to the side, back to the neutral, and then you guess it, to the rear, and bring it back up to neutral. Now my leg's going to get more fatigued when I do it this way, but that's okay. Strengthening your legs is good for you. Having stronger legs with better endurance also helps quite a bit with balance as well. So out, once again, lean back slightly, compensate the weight of the leg, to the side, always come back to neutral, and to the back. Front, side, and back. Notice my knees bent, I extend, bend it again, extend, and bend it again. We'll try two more on this side. And one more. Front, side, and back. All right, we'll do the same thing on this side. All right, so once again, leg up, front, side, and back. Front, side, and to the back. One more. All right, very good. You can shake those leg muscles out. I know mine are burning a little bit. So now we're going to use our mat, but we're not going to use it in a puffy way. We're going to use it as a mat. So if you have a carpeted floor and it won't bother your knees, you could use that as well if you don't have a mat handy. But we're going to be on our hands and knees. And what I'm going to do to make it a little bit more balance-oriented exercise, as I raise my arm up, the one that's closest to you, this is my left arm, I'm going to raise my right leg up. So I go up like so. But when I come down, I'm not going to touch the floor with either, and then extend again. Down and extend. Once again, speed is just a nice, cool, comfortable pace. Not too quick here. Couple more. Good. I'm just going to switch sides so you can see on this side. So once again, I'm going to raise my right arm and left leg. I'm going to go back as far as I feel comfortable. So if I only partially lift it, I don't hit the hamstrings and glutes as well. And because I am lifting here, this is where you want to exhale, breathe in on the way down. Exhale and breathe in. Exhale, breathe in. And down. Good. All right, so we don't need our mat anymore. So we'll just move this out of the way. All right, now this next exercise is called skater jumps. We're going to do it in a non-jumping fashion and jumping fashion. Obviously, the jumping is going to be more difficult, so kind of just gauge what your ability level is, and of course, do it in the safest way. Okay? So, nothing in my hands, although you could use weights if you want to. But what I'm going to do is do what kind of looks like the curtsy, since I'm not jumping. My left leg here is going to go behind my other leg as far as I can, but I'm still going to touch. I reset, and then other side. So once again, because my leg weighs something, I'm leaning forward to compensate the weight of the leg. Okay, now, if you need to, and you still want to do this one, but it's tough, you can still use the chair for balance if you need to. Like so. Okay? Now, I'm going to do it without the chair, but if you need the chair, you know how to do that. Okay? So, once again, to make it a little tougher, I'm still going to do the back, but I'm not going to touch the floor with that back leg. So you go back and to the side as far as you feel comfortable, but without touching the floor with that back leg. All right, with me so far? Okay. So the next one is adding the jump, but with the back leg touching. So I jump, touch, jump, touch, jump, touch, jump, touch. All right, so as you might imagine, and you probably figured it out, the next one is going to be jumping, but try not to touch with that back foot. So I jump, don't touch. Jump, don't touch. Keeping this leg bent, those muscles activated. Now, once again, I can go fast or slow. It's a little bit easier if I go quicker, but I'm trying to improve my balance, so I'll slow it down some and try not to touch. And of course, if you have to reset, push your foot down, then of course for safety do so. So we'll try a couple more. Jump, don't touch. Almost there. All right, good job everybody. Hope you enjoyed the class. Once again, my name is Clint Neal. This is the Sit and Get Fit Balance class. Hope you enjoyed it, and I will see you the next time. Have a great day.